All right, everyone, welcome back for another episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Monday, October 7th, 2024. If you're not done so already, please give the video a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts, analysis, and live day trading, and on sale all month here. So check that out in my pinned tweet. Anyways, let's get into it today. So finally got some action here. This was the sleepiest tape for pretty much like the first two-thirds of the session. And then we finally got a swoon, but I was, on this all morning here. I'm going to take a little victory lap here, maybe, in terms of rates, but because I think I was one of the few that called for higher rates after the Fed cut. But in any case, here, look at the VIX. This was up all day. It was kind of pressing. Somebody's been panic bidding volatility, right? For the all last week, even though we were, holding up really well. We had that big, faux rally into the close Friday, and you can see volatility via the VIXy here. Just kind of got like a cup and handle type look, and it's been getting bid all day. And I was saying, look at the, this is up, markets are flat, like nothing is happening. They're trying really hard to unpin us, and let's see, maybe they've succeeded here. I would say, given oil, what oil's doing, and it's ripping up 4%. You might say, well, this is something's going to happen out of the Middle East, right? Maybe. I think it's a little bit more. And again, here's my little victory lap, potentially. We'll see. But I think it's a lot more that it's rates. And I said if the 10-year, and I said this for 2-3 weeks now, but I said if the 10-year gets back above 4%, the market may find that a little skittish. The reason for that is, and by the way, yield curve here now flat, again, 2s and 10s. It's up, like 2 basis points. That's it. And the 2-year yield now at 4% also. Why is this a problem? Because rates up means we're not going to recession. Yeah, but it also means the Fed may have just made a giant policy error, right? If we look at the 2-year, that's where effective Fed funds is. If they cut by 25, and go down to 55 or 50 to 55, you're only 50 away from the 2-year yield. That's not a lot of wiggle room. We have CPI coming out later this week. That'll be a very interesting, release there. I would say right now, I told you last week, don't be long bonds. If yields are ripping up into 420 on the 10-year into CPI, that may be an area I would look to be long bonds. So we got to look at seeing how the market prices this in. But I think because gold is down, because bonds are down, because the dollar is flat, I think it's not so much the Middle East. I think it's more so the market really repricing risk here in terms of rates. And that's why I think we're going down. That's my theory. It doesn't really matter. Again, I've told you guys for the last week or so, I don't think there's a lot of momentum left on this particular leg of this rally. We're starting to see that come in now. And we'll see if that follows through tomorrow. We may bounce here. There is a lot of pinning. Again, this tape is so noisy right now. There is a lot of pinning going on at 5,700, right? So we are sitting right there. We could close in this area here. Even the Russell's actually getting a pretty good bounce right now as we get close to the end of the day. That leads me to believe we're not going to sell off too much more, at least today. Semiconductors were strong all day, but look at them come into red. That's not a good look. SMH down 1/3%. NVIDIA, the big strong horse today, just acting like nothing is happening. Eli Lilly and NVIDIA. And then you have some energy stocks doing well. Those were kind of leading the tape here. Now, NVIDIA's got their little AI conference thing going on. So that's getting a bit. I think a lot of retail is really looking at this wedge here. And personally, just as anecdotal, but I think a lot of people are chasing this breakout. So I'd be careful going to this AI event on NVIDIA. But it is a leader right now. We'll give it that. Eli Lilly here up nicely. And as we mentioned, XLE up nicely. Yeah, IWM coming off the lows pretty decently. That has a higher low there. So we'll see what the market does tomorrow. I don't think we're going to really puke out just yet. I mean, we could. There's always that chance. But I think we probably have a bounce in us tomorrow. You're going to notice this white line here also. We're kind of like going to the 2-hour. You can see a little head and shoulder there. So we'll see if maybe that gets hit tomorrow. Maybe we bounce there and then come down. There's also a trend line sitting right here on the daily that we could go into as well. So just some short-term targets there. Outside of that, we are below 57.20. I'll give sellers the benefit of the doubt. I mean, it's just simple, right? We're below this area, we give sellers the benefit of the doubt. We're above it, we give buyers the benefit of the doubt. There's your SPY 570. That's been traded through so many times, though. I'm still telling you, they want this 565. That's been sitting there. We got close three times last week and never got to it. So I do think that will get checked. It's very close. The next level from there is like 560. That's really the next area where they've got those puts sitting where they could get assigned. This is all just short-term stuff that could change very heavily if we break levels and so on and so forth. But again, I still think we're a little bit on the weaker side here, and markets should, I would think, be in backing and filling mode right now. Triple Q's down 1.25. Again, look what they did today, right? 486 gap down, retest, couldn't hold it, so now lower. Talked about IWM, good bounce in the afternoon here, still down 1%. Dow down 1% as well. That breaks this range. I think we're going to have a pretty steep retrace. SMH again down about 1/3. IGV outside move down 1.5. So no follow through there. Got Oracle, green to red day. Adobe, bottom falling out of that one. Transports here actually holding up all right. So down 0.5%, but still inside of Friday's candle. We'll see how that does here. It's not terrible. Not terrible. XHB down 1/4. It did come up nicely off the lows, though. It was very weak this morning. It was weak on Friday, too, on volume. So home builders might be a little top heavy. Trend is still nicely up on the weekly and daily, though, still. But back below 120, I think this has a little bit of an air pocket here. VNQ holding 50 MA, thereabouts. We'll see if that can get a short-term bounce. So we finally got to our 94 target, 93.84. That should be due for a little bit of a bounce. Watch for a lower high, though. XLF down 1 1/3. Possible, yeah. I mean, technically lower highs there. Engulfing candle too, but still a pretty healthy chart for the most part. KRE, this is one I'd watch too. If this wedge breaks bear, that could be a problem. A lot of people are talking to me about HYG. I'm seeing it. It's down on volume. But I mean, this is still a strong uptrend right now. Like, it's been down the last couple of days, but I mean, you had a nice breakout here. You're pulling back. We'll keep an eye on it. But, another thing to watch too, just to add, credit spreads are really tight. Like, they're tightening up even today. So, something else to consider, just watching that. KBE down 65 bips, XBD here, again, right to that channel line there. Again, oil breaking out, we talked about that, beautiful move there. 78's the next level, then 80. I think it's into a 618 now, if I'm not mistaken, from like this pivot. Yeah, it actually pierced that, so it's actually higher than that. Maybe we might even have to go back to like here. Yeah, so there's a 618 at 70. Also, we'll say 78 for tomorrow. XLE, again, up nicely. Again, there's a lot. It feels like there's a lot of repricing going on here. Not political here, but just, we have to talk about it. Trump election odds have exploded in his favor today. That's putting pressure on certain areas, potentially marijuana stocks. But you got TAN up. Even though Trump's not anti-weed at all, I mean, I think the algos on Wall Street are kind of stupid sometimes. And they don't really realize things. But you do have TAN up, like I said. So maybe it's just noise. But it does feel like there's some repricing going on. Again, a lot of it, I think it's with yields, but just talking about that. All right, but yeah, XLE holding up nicely. I think a dip in that would be a viable one. XOP, same, and OIH, same. So energy, really good move. XOM, new all-time highs. Nat gas, obviously hurricane in the Gulf, so obviously that's the most bearish thing for nat gas. But it's down 4.2% here. And pretty good pullback here. This was overdue. I do think it has one more peak, though, in the month of October to November. So maybe it may have to do some backing and filling here, but I do think it definitely has room for higher lows. Let's just see the yeah, it basically hit a 618 today, or 50% fib. It might go down for the 618 tomorrow. We'll see. See the Russell bouncing nicely here. So interesting. This is what I mean. This tape is something's broken here. I mean, like, look at VIXI, new highs, Apple new lows, Microsoft new lows, Tesla new lows, Meta lows of the day, Amazon lows of the day, Netflix almost at lows of the day, IGV at lows of the day, SMH just off of lows of the day, and you got the transports and the Russell bidding up here. Not to derail this, but I mean, this is just unbelievable. Dollar basically flat. Again, we talked about 102.50 being resistance, and there it is. Gold holding up, no problems. Silver holding up, no problems. They're getting ready to break out. Platinum backing off, down 1.5. Palladium up 2.7. And copper still bull flagging on the daily. Copper still looks good. Look at the Russell. This is just ridiculous. All right. Bitcoin here up 1%, but it was up more and it came back in off the highs. Again, still a lot of choppiness. I'm expecting that for the next couple of weeks potentially, but I think it's setting up for a breakout. Simple. So markets close in 10 minutes. We should hold up at 57 for the most part. Yeah, we should close right around 57, I would think, unless something changes in the next 10 minutes. But yeah, you know, market catching a little bit of a sell here. No follow through. We'll see if we bounce tomorrow. Watch that 2-hour head and shoulders. If that triggers, just using SPX here. Yeah, that's like a 100-point move. So that could take us down past 5,600 potentially if that plays out. Let's just see if we got, just for fun. Yeah, so a 50% retrace would be 55.80, 85. Let's just do this here. So let's just say we broke down there. Whoops. Say we broke down there. It's probably a good level, right? So good symmetry there with the charts as they usually have. That's why we use them. Look at the Russell 2000. All right, guys. I'll wrap it up here. Again, don't forget to come find me on carnivoretrades.com. You guys take care. Have a good afternoon. I'll see you guys all tomorrow.